Before we dive into the chilling story of a leek that endured winters so harsh they would have killed most crops, make sure you hit subscribe and join the Aten Recounts community. We're about to uncover a piece of agricultural history that not only shaped wartime food security, but also offers lessons for modern survivalists and anyone interested in resilient crops. Stick with me, because by the end of this you'll understand why this leek was remarkable, and why, despite its toughness, it faded from the fields of farmers across Europe. During World War II, every resource counted. Farmers and civilians faced shortages, and survival depended on hardy, dependable crops. One such crop that often gets overlooked in historical accounts is the humble leek. In a small corner of rural Europe, a variety of leek was reported to survive winter temperatures dropping to nearly -30 degrees Fahrenheit, a feat unheard of in conventional vegetable cultivation. To put that into perspective, even modern hardy greens like kale can struggle under those conditions without protection. Yet this leek endured. It survived deep frost, snow-covered fields, and minimal human intervention. The question is, why didn't this leek become a staple for farmers everywhere? The answer lies in a combination of taste, growth habits, and wartime practicality. Historical records from agricultural reports and wartime diaries suggest that while the leek could survive extreme cold, it required a longer growing season to reach maturity. Farmers, often pressed for speed and yield during the war, found that the effort to cultivate these leeks wasn't worth the delayed harvest. You see, in times of scarcity, a crop that grows quickly, even if less frost-tolerant, was far more valuable than one that could survive unimaginable winters, but took months longer to feed a family. For modern survivalists, this is an important lesson. Cold hardiness is only one piece of the puzzle when selecting crops for extreme conditions. A plant's speed, yield, and nutritional value must also be considered. This leek survival wasn't just a quirk of genetics, it was a product of selective adaptation. Farmers in certain high-altitude regions noticed that some leek seedlings consistently returned year after year, even after snowstorms and sub-zero nights. They would collect seeds from these survivors, a form of natural and practical breeding long before genetic science formalized the process. In practical terms, if you wanted to experiment today with growing your own resilient vegetables, you could adopt a similar approach. Plant a hardy batch, track which seedlings survive extreme conditions, and harvest seeds only from the survivors. Over several seasons, you would be cultivating a line of vegetables adapted to your microclimate, just as farmers inadvertently did during the war. Yet, despite its resilience, taste and marketability played a major role in the leek's decline. Historical accounts suggest that while the plant survived cold, its flavour was somewhat muted compared to varieties grown in milder conditions. For farmers selling at markets or feeding troops, palatability mattered as much as survival. Modern culinary enthusiasts might scoff, but in the context of wartime Europe, a vegetable that was tough and bland was not economically viable. From a practical perspective, if you're considering planting extreme cold crops today, consider both their durability and how useful they are in your kitchen or survival garden. You can't survive on survival alone. Nutrition, taste, and versatility are essential. Another factor contributing to the decline of this extraordinary leek was labour intensity. Unlike modern agricultural mechanization, wartime farmers relied on hand-tending. These leeks, though hardy, required careful spacing, weeding, and sometimes early-season protection. As much as the leek could endure frost, human labour was still necessary for optimal yield. Farmers facing labour shortages due to conscription or rationing naturally gravitated toward crops that required minimal attention and could be harvested quickly, like potatoes or winter carrots. For contemporary survivalists, the takeaway is clear: cold hardiness is valuable, but labour requirements should never be overlooked when planning a self-sustaining garden. Start small, monitor your workload, and balance resilience with manageability. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is how the leek's legacy persists today. While it disappeared from mass cultivation, pockets of enthusiasts and seed savers continue to propagate these hardy varieties. Some survivalist communities now cultivate them as a historical and practical experiment, ensuring that the genetic traits allowing survival under extreme cold are not lost. If you're a history buff or survivalist, you could take inspiration from this. Preserving rare crops is both an act of historical conservation and practical preparedness. You could even set up small trials in your own garden, testing which varieties withstand your winter conditions best and documenting the results. A direct link to the strategies used by farmers decades ago. So, what can we learn from the saga of the WWII Leek? First, survival in agriculture is not just about toughness. It's about balance between cold resilience, growth rate, taste, and labour. Second, human observation and selective breeding, sometimes born of necessity, can create remarkable outcomes. And third, preserving resilient varieties is an ongoing task, one that connects us to both history and future preparedness. Whether you're a historian, a survivalist, or someone interested in the hidden stories of food during wartime, this leek offers a unique lens into the intersection of necessity, ingenuity, and biology. If you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. These stories aren't just about the past. They teach us lessons we can apply today, whether in our gardens, kitchens, or understanding human ingenuity in the face of adversity. The tale of the WWII Leek is more than a curiosity. It's a masterclass in survival, adaptation, and the choices we make when facing the harshest conditions nature can offer.